Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Unlock Show. I'm your host, Tracy Wilson, and today I have got a super special guest with me, and we're going to be talking about and unlocking all the secrets to creating a really magnetic brand that attracts all of the perfect clients that you are looking for and how to actually stand out in this really crowded market. So if you are joining me for the very first time, welcome. We are streaming across multiple platforms right now. Most of you are probably joining me inside of the Success Secrets for Business, Family and Life group on Facebook. And if you are not joining me there, where the heck are you? You really need to be joining us inside of that group so that you can not only watch my show, but you get to watch all the other experts inside of that amazing group too and learn how to thrive across business, family, and life. So that's what we do in there. So if you're also listening on the podcast, thank you for joining me. And those of you that are watching and you want to, you'd much rather be listening, you can actually go to iTunes or to Google Play and download The Unlock Show with Tracy Wilson and listen to this as a podcast. So welcome, everybody. I can see a bunch of you guys joining right now. So let's kick this off. Let me tell you a little bit about this amazing woman, Zarina Robertson. So Zarina is actually a renowned expert and leader in visual personal branding. Through her background in both marketing and combined with her expertise in national and international brands, as well as her very natural and creative flair, Zarina's got a really strong and valuable message to share with all of us today. And she's going to help you to understand what it takes to stand out in this very competitive market. She travels globally. She's helped loads and loads of different brands across the globe, such as LVMH, and she's headed numerous teams across the globe too. Her commentary on the importance of creating a strong brand and image is regularly quoted in the media, and she's a gifted and inspiring public speaker, and she's in high demand. So I'm extremely pleased to have her here today. She's won loads of awards. We can go into all of those, but needless to say, you're going to hear for yourself and you'll make up your own mind as to the fact that she is amazing, and she's going to share some fantastic things with us today. So welcome to the show, Zarina.
Oh, thanks for having me. That's a great introduction. Thank you. I'm glad it's recorded.
No worries. It's awesome to have you here. Look, also, what I didn't mention, which is really important, is this. So Zarina's actually an author. So she's an author of a book called The Magnetic Branding. And she might kind of like hold it up and show us what it is. But Magnetic Branding, and it's the complete guide for creating a brand that actually attracts. We'll tell you a little bit later in the show where you can go to get a copy of her book. But we're going to be really unlocking a lot of the secrets that she talks about inside of that book. And some of them I think you'll find very fascinating because there is a massive difference between creating a standard brand and something that really stands out. So tell me a little bit about like your background and history. How did you get into, doing what you're doing right now?
Oh, Tracy. Well, it started when I was, I was born with a camera in the cot. That's where it started. and my dad is a photographer, was a photographer, and I just took it to another level of, I guess, progression and things like that. And I just took it to just really another level. And that was mixing entrepreneurialism with photography. So where did it start? It started back then, and but I never really started the career of branding photography until I had to go through the pain of working in corporate. And so that's what happened. So literally, I had to go through the pain and working for Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, big company, fabulous perfumes and lipsticks and makeup. I love it. And but working in a corporate environment was I just didn't understand why was I not fitting in. And I swear I was like, what's the matter with these jobs? And then it kind of just, I started getting this loud noise in my mind, in my head, in my heart that said photography. And I was like, oh, geez, I don't know. And I was fighting it because I wanted to kind of feel like, I felt more connected to the corporate world at that time because I also had studied marketing. I felt I was doing some great things, making millions and millions and millions of dollars for this company. And but I felt soulless. I felt empty. And in a way, I felt that, I started to really realize, what is my purpose back then? What is it that I can help to contribute and change the world with what I could do? But but I didn't know back then what could I do. I just had this yearning or this message. It's kind of like this. It's just, I always get these messages, but this was a big one. It just said photography. So what I did is I jumped off the cliff and I said to myself, I said, if there's anything that I will do photography. But the biggest thing that I said to myself is that I don't want to take money from anyone who is not happy with what I produce or what I do. And that was a big promise to myself as a grounding of what as a benchmark, right? As a person in business, I knew, and I saw a lot of photographers out there doing a lot of bad stuff, right? Like photography bad, but still taking money. And I didn't want to be that way. I just went, no way. If I'm not living on purpose, I'm not living in my truth, then why would I take money for that? So that was my benchmark, right? My personal benchmark. Mm-hmm. I have not looked back. And because I've lived in the truth in that, that alley, that stream, I have become very, known for, if I put my mind to something, I'll do it. But because I know the promise to myself that I don't want to let people down. But more than that, I don't want to let myself down. And then that only equates to letting your brand down and then letting other people down. So basically, it's a ripple effect, right? So in business, at the very beginning, the basic number one thing that I believe that when I think that we should go in, when we do go into business, is that just do it for the right reasons. And make sure you're always checking in point to yourself on, why are you doing it? Am I doing it the right way? Am I taking people's money for the right reasons? And really just deliver, right? And deliver not something substandard. Deliver world-class products or world-class service or world-class you. And because at the end of the day, it's about our purpose. And that's what's driven me for how I've come forward, like 100 years later, sort of, to do what I do, which is branding and working with women and men and helping them develop their purpose, develop and show up, just be a standout brand. And this has taken it's taken for me a journey of myself to be the best I can be for the people I serve. And we are always on a journey of our soul. We're on a journey of our purpose, and that has to shine. It has to come out the right way. But you need to do it in a way that is meaningful. And that to me, the utopia is through video and it's through images. And that's my path in that regard, right? And motivation and inspiration. And I cannot tell you, I live and breathe this every day. I love it. I love it.
Look, I love, it's always fantastic to hear people's stories, and I very much resonate with that, because I was like you in the corporate space, doing really well, and this really speaks to people who maybe you are in a job where you feel like the square peg in the round hole. That you want to do something else, but you're just not really sure what it is, and just taking those moments to sit quiet and think, well, what's you generally get like a pull, right? Like you had like this pull to, I need to be doing photography. And like you said, you kind of, pushed back on that for some time. And then we're like, okay, I'm just going to surrender and allow this to take me where I need to go. And it's a constant discovery of ourselves, like over time.
I know. I even had that pull at the beginning of the year. And I was just like, I listened to it. And right now, I'm reaping the rewards of listening to that message, to that pull. And what is that? I love that stuff. I love it. It's got to be the universe speaking. It's a spirit. I don't know. Like some guru swami up there in the universe. I don't know, but I'm listening to you.
Yeah. But it is, I mean, it is just being open to actually listen,
Yeah.
and then, surrendering to, okay, I'm going to go with this. I will go with the flow of the river rather than trying to go against it. I think the other really important thing that I do want to go back and address this, because this is something like, as far as like business is concerned, I think is super important. You mentioned, like, you really thought about, what do I want to do? What is my purpose? But it's more about, like, what values am I going to instill, and what values do I have? How do I bring them into everything that I do in my business? So when you spoke about, what am I taking people's money for? I want to be proud to deliver them a product and or service that I am proud of, that I feel that I'm worthy of being paid for that. And that has obviously held you in good stead in building and developing your business.
And this is just a prime example. So here's an example of something that I was gobsmacked this week. And I'm just like, this is just a little bit of an offshoot that literally I am gobsmacked by it. So I have to share it. And because I just I am gobsmacked. I had a client come to me, and they said that and like they got some work delivered to them, right? They showed me that piece of work and things like that. I looked at it, I critiqued it, and they and they just took that on board. But the service provider won't give their money back and is giving them a gag order for a bit of the refund. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm in shock. Like, do people in business have to do that to a customer that paid them money, that's not happy with their product? So it goes back to, why are we in business? Do we need to be giving gag orders to people in business to shut them up because then they want some money back because the product was actually really bad and is not worthy of use? So we have to think about how we're doing business in this day and age. And I have to say, I'm in shock about that. And that's actually a photographer doing that. Now, for a photographer to do that in those extremes in this environment, that's a shocker. So I want people to think in business, we do not need to be using gag orders. I thought that was ridiculous. So live in your purpose. I've never done that before. In 20 years? I don't know. I've been doing this. I don't know. I can't remember. But we don't need to be this type of person in business. We need to be of service in business. And this is where I've come from since the day I started, and since the day I lived in my mantra, in my mission, in my mindset. So I think a big part of your offering is that it's obviously 100% guarantee, by your standards, by you as the business owner standards. That's living. I want to share that, but that's living in your truth. It's living in your purpose. If you are having to give gag orders and all this sort of stuff to shut people up about refunds, you're in the wrong business, right?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be that way. So let's talk about, like, inside of this book that you've created. And this goes to, I mean, branding is everything, right? It's like everything we do. It's the values that you have. It's the way that you look. Because, I mean, you're going to get into all of that. But it doesn't just go to the superficial stuff as to what you actually see. It's everything that your business embodies. So I want to talk about these, like in the book, I know you talk about brand archetypes, and I'm really interested to kind of unlock some of those, understand more about, when you talk about a brand archetype, what do you mean? How does that apply to business and to an entrepreneur? And why should they care about that?
Well, it's a huge thing. It's a big part of my story, okay? So I'll go back to when people were turning up in my studio, my natural light studio, and I'm doing indoor and outdoor shoots, and I'm like, and so many, and there still is. I always looked at these people and listened to them, and I really started really tapping into who they are as a person and a personality. And there'd be all these different personalities coming in, people that wanted to dance in my studio, people that were high-end introverts, people that were high-end extroverts. Oh, gosh. And I was getting those shebang of personalities in my mind. And at the same time of doing their brands and thinking about them, because I've studied marketing, creating their brands and their brand strategies and their brand stories through images and video, I started to really always wanting to know a lot more about them and digging deeper. And it started again, and it carried on through when I was looking at them and dressing them, because I style all my clients. I don't outsource that, because I know deep within myself what looks good in front of the camera, what doesn't look good, what I know what they need as a person to stand in their truth in the studio or in front of me. And so I take all the guesswork out of it and I make them shine and really I really make them pop. And that's from feeling empowered with their wardrobe and not being disempowered, not being confused. So going from all of that and all the processes that I take my clients through, getting them to look good, getting them to feel really confident in what they're going to wear, why they're going to wear things, how they're going to wear things, where we're going to photograph them, and all this sort of thing, I started tapping into my other part of my marketing brain going, gosh, personalities, man. I'm getting hit with all these personalities, and I really wanted to put all of this within a book, and I've written 10 books, but this is one of the books, the Magnetic Branding book, but I wanted to put it into my legacy book, a legacy book, which is this one here, but in a way that people with your personal brand start to understand who you are as a person. Introvert, extrovert, your purpose, your story, your transformational story, helping you become who you are, to be positioned to attract your ideal client through your story, through your imagery. Now, I take this really seriously, because if someone turned up in front of me and they were a particular type of person that didn't feel comfortable in their look, 90% of people don't feel comfortable in front of a camera, but they forget about it when they forget about that fear when I've worked with them, and because I don't even know, they're just talking to me, right? And it's a lot of fun, but it's a process, and I know how to deal with it, but it's a psychological process, a mindset process, and part of this process is absolutely harnessing who you are as a personality. Are you, are you a caretaker? Are you a magician? And things like that. If you're starting to understand more of who you are, then you become a lot more of who you are. And that shows up online. Now, saying that, with my thought leadership and with the model that I take my clients through, I make sure that they are positioned ideally to attract their ideal clients. And that's my mantra. And that's when you stand out. And that's when you start, that's where the magic is. And that is beautiful for me. But there's a process. And this making you, if you're the hero, and this is what I developed, was all these, understanding what needed to, ideas and examples of what the hero would wear as an example, as a woman and, as a man, and things like that, the colors or the vibe or the energy, it's really special for me to have brought this book out. It took 4 years to develop this book, and I self-published it, and Dimmix took it on board, and Amazon took it on board, and people like that. But it's about understanding what is the goal of the hero, what is your strengths, what's your weaknesses, and going deep into who you are as a personality, because it's obviously personality. It's all about your brand and attracting the ideal client. But if you don't know more about yourself, how will you project your message with clarity? How will you project your message with confidence? How will you project yourself with self-belief in when you turn up in your images and in a shoot, with me? So it's helping people get through these barriers and having someone who's got their back. And I really love having people's backs. And I really help them. I love them. I just love that,
Sometimes, it does require you to have a wing woman or a champion there. And you obviously can be that person behind the lens that can just take that best shot. And you're right. I mean, the people I talk to, particularly when we're when my company is putting together like branding for online, it's like they're afraid. I said, can you go and we need you to get some more personal branded photos. Oh, I don't want to do that. They're frightened to do that, and they don't know what to wear. They don't know how to look up. So the fact that your book has even got, if your personality is this is even the type of styling that
Yeah.
you could show up in.
So I got
That's fantastic.
for the jester men and women. It's really special because because it's connecting to people, and I understand deeply about branding because this is my story, and I didn't want to show up. I didn't want to show up. I just wanted to be just this photographer that did great images. And I did this for a while, but Facebook turned up, and then I literally had to launch myself online. But the story is with me. And then I think some people will resonate with the story, is that at the beginning of Facebook, I've got a 12-year-old boy, Taj, and I was too busy. I had a business. I was too busy. I was working for Business Chicks and MRI Sachs, Australia's biggest women's networking group, and now it's gone global. And I was photographing all these top entrepreneurs and all these women in business, and it was wonderful things. But I started to just start losing myself a little bit. I'm like, gosh, not losing myself completely, but I just started to think about, this online is taking me away from the distraction of offline events where I was just having fun, I'm meeting people in the flesh, and I'm loving it, and I'm snapping away and connecting. And I love that thing. But then there was the other thing that was pulling me, was this online, that was the pressure, right? So I went, oh gosh, okay, online, Facebook, LinkedIn, then Instagram turned up. All these sort of things were going on, right? And I was like, whoa, this is too much. But then I launched my brand online with the images that I, thought were appropriate. Well, lo and behold, I launched this is where the story kind of started, and a lot more about the story was that I launched myself online with a photograph that I actually thought, hey, everybody, look at me, I'm the photographer, I will do your work, because I knew innately I could do the gig, right? Of course. But I said, look at me, this photo, you just got to take that, look at that green photo, right? And at the time, right, these green filters were in. I'm like, there was so popular, green filters. I'm like, shove that photo up. Look at me. I'm like, I take a photograph. Anyway, long story short, it's a ridiculous green photo. Was just a cool Kermit photo. I learned so much from that Kermit photo because I thought that was the thing that was going to get my gigs. I thought, hey, you know what, people are going to be believing me. No, it was wrong. And I learned so much from putting up the wrong photo about myself because it was not showcasing who I was deeply. It was not connecting. It was not on purpose. It was just a photo, and that was it. And it was just a green photo with a green tint, and that was it. And nobody connected. And I was like, why? And then I started questioning, why not people connecting? And then that's where the whole ball, it opened up a Pandora's box for my soul, my mind, my purpose. And from there on in, I started really working hard with the women and the men that I was working with so that they could turn up on purpose, on brand. And that's how things started rolling for them. And that's where they start shining. And that's what happens is that a part of that is understanding this. I just want to explain that about your positioning and personalizing your brand and being consistent with your brand voice and where are you showing up with those images that actually speak deeply to your market, because you don't want to be putting up, say, pretty pictures or videos that have no purpose. You want to absolutely understand the strategy behind the image and why it's taken and why it's used where it's used for the marketplace, for who you want to talk to. not put up pretty pictures that are just for the sake of putting it up. And I see advertisements, right? Like these Facebook ads come up and, women in the kitchen and women in the cooking, and everybody's starting to look the same. And I'm like, they're all starting to look the same in the same genre of photography. And I'm just kind of glad I'm not gone down that path of that kind of style, because everyone's starting to look the same. And you can see, and you can actually see, and I can actually pick up where, and I can pick up, and I do pick up very innately, subtle differences where the person that the photo is taken, you can tell that you feel the energy that they don't feel they're buying into it. And it's very interesting to see that energy about a photo as well. And I love seeing that. And there's also another thing where the photographer, you can see, gets lazy. And they get lazy where they just go, they're not that, the creativeness is not there. And they're staying in their style, but they're not working innately with the client. And you can see that as well. And I'm starting to pick up on all of this, and it's like, wow, that's interesting for me to take a step back and psychoanalyze where A, that photographer is with their work, and B, where the client is sitting and what they're feeling in that photo shoot. And because I'm starting to feel a higher vibration about my work now, because I work with people like Arnold. I get asked, I work with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Richard Branson. I've worked with Simon Sinek, and I've done all these sort of people and big, Australia's top speakers and leaders, and like in Australia, and go to New York and do photo shoots there with Aviva Drescher, from. And giving her advice in the back of a stretch limousine about her book cover. Blow me down. Unbelievable. Like that story in itself blew my mind, because I only speak the truth. And I'll tell you about this story. And I was in New York, stretch limousine, Aviva Drescher from the desperate, like New York Housewives. And she's Aviva Drescher, as in the one without, with the wooden leg. And one day she became very, very well famous when on one of the episodes, all the women were being a bitch about her, and she threw her wooden leg at all of them and said, bugger off. And she threw this wooden leg, and that went viral, right? Went nuts. So the wooden leg went flying in the air. Anyway, she heard I was coming over to New York, and she hired me for a photo shoot. So I'm going in this, stretch limousine, and I was down the front, and I was freaking out because this woman's a very strong American woman. Unbelievable. I was in the front.
Throw her wooden leg at you if you're not careful.
Yeah, I was full on scared, right? Anyway, because she's such a strong character. And I was in the front with the limousine driver, and with her limousine driver, and him, I'm like, oh, and then she's in the back, and she goes, and she's talking to me in her accent, and how you going? Now we're going to go here, Serena. We're going to go there, Serena. And we're going to go this shop in Soho, and we're going to do some photos. Oh, yeah. And then I said, okay, so we're going to go here. We're going to go there, Aviva, as well. Anyway, we're going through the shoots and the motions and the photos. We're having a lot of fun. Then on this road, we're going through this, like, the New York streets and the stretch limousine. She's sitting in there in the back, and she said to me, he said, Zarina. Oh, no, that was an Indian accent, wasn't it? I'm so bad at accents, right? I'm just trying to get the Yankee accent, right? Oh, God, that's really hard. Anyway, so she said she passes me through her book from the back of the stretch limousine where her legs are, she's like 100 meters away, right? And I'm sitting there just going, just enjoying, New York City, and with the limousine driver, I'm going, pitching myself, I can't believe I'm in this car. Unbelievable. She passes me through her book, right? And she passes me through, and she goes, Zarina, can you just tell me what you think about this photo? And I went, okay. And she passed me through the book, and I'm looking at it now, and the limousine driver's like just next to me, and I looked at her book, and I said, Aviva, do you want me to tell you the truth? And she says, yeah. And she said, yeah, I want you to tell me the truth. Of course. I said, listen, I like your title. I need to explain something to you. Are you ready? And she said, yeah, I'm ready. I said, I know you have printed this a lot, and millions of copies. And I said, were you having, and I'm going to pre-frame this, Aviva, telling you the truth, because I can only feel what I see. And I said to her, were you having a bad day with your photographer? And she looked at me, because I'm like, and here's the limousine driver's nearly going to have a heart attack, right? And I said, and she looked at me and she said, and she moved forward towards me, and I was like, oh, shit, she's going to rip my neck off. And she goes, how do you know that? And I went, I just know. I just can tell. And I feel you in the image on your book cover. And she said, you're right. You're really right. That was the best photo from the photo shoot. They said so. And I said, oh, but how did you feel about it? And she said, I had my reservations, but I never said anything. And I went, unbelievable. So 1 million books got printed, there was very popular woman, and she is agreeing with me. And I said to her the truth. Now, she said to me, I want to say thank you, because no one's told me the truth about much, because, they live in their little New York bubble, right? Or they live in the bubble. And, there's a Aussie girl comes around and tells her the truth. Now, the thing is, though, is that this is, again, the second benchmark. Do not go into business if you're not going to tell your clients the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Do not do that. Don't go, I can't stand that about this industry, the photography industry, part of me, because when this is just a part of the process that I take my class through, is that when we do images together, I am not married to my images. I love my clients more than I love my images, but I know how transformational I can be. I know, without taking a photograph, without doing videos with them. I know, but I want them to turn up. They're number one. So when I go through images and I'm sharing them with them, I'm saying, this image is you. This is telling you this. This is telling me that. This is doing this for you. This is doing this for your business. This is that. Like, I'm the kamikaze, right, of images for them. I'm the truth teller, and like the photo whisperer for them. And they love it because they've never had anybody who is objective about how they're turning up. I will tell, like I was on a Zoom call the other day, and I was speaking to women about how they're turning up on Zoom. And I said, listen, I could see them all, right? It was on a leadership Zoom call. And I said to the women, and I'm looking at them, right? They're all turning up, right? And when I started talking about how women turn up on Zoom, they all went like this. They all started behaving, They're all started behaving and started like, oh my God. And because they were like this, like, and they went, and then I went, nah, too late, man, too late. I went, I'm sorry. Look, Sally, and I just said, and I absolutely started tapping into, what do you do? What do you do for your business? And this is how they're turning up. And it was really quite interesting that, people take notice of you. People take notice of you no matter how the hell you're turning up. And why are you turning up off brand, on Zoom, online, on videos? It's a shocker. So what happened is that one of the ladies, I did a little bit of a coaching call in front of everybody. I said, listen, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. She was an accountant or something like this. I said, look, I've got to say something. You look like a prison escapee. And she said, oh, but I because the way the lighting was, the way she looked like this, and because I'm like, you do what? You talk numbers, finance, people's futures. You talk about right now, money, but you are coming across like that. And she took that and she ran with it. And she loved what I said. Because you know what? She actually left a message with the organizer of that call, of that thing, and said, you know what, Serena? She said that to the audience. I totally get what she said about me. And that was the best compliment. Why? It's because I'm only telling the truth. But with that, I also helped her how to turn up. Does that make sense? So it's not like, I love giving a bit of funness and, like a little bit of, twisting it with fun. But it's just the way it is, right? But what I'm saying is that I think my legacy is to absolutely speak the truth. It's speak the truth of what I see visually. It's speak the truth on how to get people to position themselves to attract their ideal clients. I know this now. I take this with joy.
Yeah. Well, one of the, like, it's interesting because obviously you're a professional photographer, taking high end shots, and in today's environment, like a lot of what we're seeing online is not taken with, by a photographer or by a high tech camera. They're taken, selfies on phones and what have you. So when what I think would be really interesting to know is, like, when is it appropriate to hire somebody like you and get some really professional shots done, and then being able to, allow that person to go away and go, well, actually, now I know what my archetype is. I know what my brand is. I know what my voice should be. I know the tone. That's the look that my professional has, that we've created together. That's my inner genius that's being brought out in a form of imagery. How do I now know how to take good shots when I do not have my professional photographer with me? How do I maintain that brand consistency without someone like you? She's like, what? Because I see this often, right? Like, particularly because in, with what we do, we're creating like online brands, we're creating people's online presence. So they'll go to a professional photographer, they'll get some really nice photos done, and they look amazing online. We can get them to look amazing on their website. But then when they show up in a Zoom call, like you were saying, or going to a meeting or taking photos to share on their social media, there's it's disjointed. There is not congruent.
That's the disconnect. The disconnect. Yeah. Okay. So this is the thing: is that so unfortunately, it's education. People have not, with my tribe, the people that work with me, they know I've got a standard. And it's my world-class standard. Now, if I didn't turn up in my red and be my consistent self in that regard, anything, red earrings, red whatever, red necklace, whatever, then it's people might start to question, is Zarina losing herself? So what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, I'm a leader in what I do. I have standards. And my clients know my standards. I have standards for my clients. My clients have their own standards when they work with me. And we can only be as good as the leader that we're working with. And so if you go to a substandard photographer, or you just go to a photographer who just does pretty pictures like puke, like, who wants to go for just pretty pictures? You want to go for somebody who, like as in, who's a trailblazer, who actually understands you deeply, has your back. And my clients get a tap on the shoulder from me when I see them online if they might be a little bit off brand. That, to me, is my gold standard. If I see my clients who I've worked with, I'm going, I'm just going to help you, give you a little bit of feedback, Sally. Sally, I saw you do a Zoom. How about you do your hair this way? Or how about we go back to how we were, when we were working together? And of course, they appreciate that. So, people who work with me know my gold standard. Like, I've got a gold standard. That's it. I'm multi-award winning photographer, person, whatever. But I need to live in my truth and share that with people. And again, if you're sharing stuff like that with people, they either take it on board or they don't. But guess what? The truth does hurt, or the truth will shift you, and it will shift you to a better place and a better spot about who you are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I suppose, as an individual who, if you're somebody who wants to create a better brand, you need to be open to receiving that information. So
Exactly.
inside of the book, because what I'm hearing here is that I think is really, really beneficial for those of us that are online, that are trying to, this is a crowded place. You want to try and stand out from the market. And like you were saying before, you can scroll through a news feed and it's like vanilla, vanilla, vanilla. Everybody is starting to look the same. You need to create something that enables you to stand out and you create that through understanding who you are, how to pull out that inner genius out of yourself and portray that in video or in your imagery. So for me, if I were to read your book and to go through and understand what the archetypes are, now that you've sort of shown me a few of those pages, I think I'd be able to look at that and go, okay, well, I think I've written down a couple of things here. I'm a caretaker. So whatever the archetype details are for a caretaker, that would be me. Then I could look at the imagery and go, okay, well, now I can start to see how that can be been brought to life in everything that I do. Now I understand who I am. Now I understand my brand.
Yeah.
Now I can be aware of that whenever I'm taking imagery, and I'm looking at these pictures first before I'm putting them onto any of my socials to ensure that I have got congruency.
So here's another thing. Like, can I share a story with you?
Please do.
Okay. So there's a big part of my why is a big part. Another level of my brand. Another level of my message for people. And that's about why do we do what we do, right? And it's about the transformational story, and this is really, really important. And one day I had a call from a woman, super strong character on the phone, freaked me out, and she said, and she was saying, she was speaking to me about what she does. Her name is Michelle, and she was speaking to me about she's a very strong character. She was actually Shane, Shane Warney, Australia's best friend, Warney, foreign character, his manager. And what happened is that she's calling and she says, Zarina, I need to talk to you about my brand. I want to do this. I need to do this soon. I need to do it now, all this sort of thing. And she was telling me, and we were talking about her business and her brand, who she was as a woman, and what she wanted to do and why she wanted to do what she needed to do with me, which is the imagery and legacy, her legacy. She said, I want to leave a legacy and images that I want to get onto boards. I want to change the way that people get more women on boards and things like that, and she was going for some board positions, and she was also an entrepreneur as well, and very, very strong character. And on the phone, it was like ring, ring. It should be every time whenever it was like, Michelle, hi, and I couldn't even put a word in. She'd be like, and I'm like, but she scared the bejesus out of me, right? Because she was such a strong, amazing force. Right. Anyway, so we go into the photo shoot, and she's brought all these clothes, which we talked about. But she's just an amazing energy. She brought all the shoes, she lined them up, the jewelry, the clothes, and all these sort of things. It was like dress ups, natural light studio. It's full on energy. Sun was shining through, and we were doing the tango. We're dancing around the studio, and click, 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 click. And she had such an amazing energy in the day, she was this glowing angel in the studio, and I was literally going, oh, stop, Michelle. Anyway, this is her. So I just want to share this with you. That's her. That's a black and white shot of her. There we go. And a beautiful woman. And she was saying let's do this. And she was just, I literally, and I've been in many photo shoots, but that was just one particular one that blew my mind in regards to just the energy fields in the sun and there's something incredible, tingles. Anyway, we're dancing and we're shooting and things like that, and we're just sharing stories and things like that. We're talking about our little puppy dogs and things, and we're just laughing a lot. And then she said, and the music was going and all that. And then all of a sudden she just went, stop. And I went, oh, God, what have I done, Michelle? You know, like, why? Why were you stopping? She says, I've got to tell you something. And I went, nah. She's like, oh, we're just in the middle of shoot. What have we done? What do you want to tell me? She said, I've got to tell you something. And I said, is everything all right? Okay. Do we need to change clothing? Is everything okay? And she said, no, I just need to share something with you. And I said, okay, no problem. Let's do it. And do we need to change clothes? Because no, I need to share something with you. And she said to me, I just need to tell you something, Serena. And I said, yeah. Okay, what is it? And I was holding my camera, and she said, like, I stood in front of her, like, so, you know, like I'm just right in front of her, like this kind of thing. And nobody else around. It was just me and her, and it was silence. And it was just silence, the angels, like it just all beautiful. The sun was shining. And she said, this is the last photo shoot I'll ever do. And I went, no, Michelle, no, people come back because they need to, because they get, you know, pop a couple of grey hairs here and there, you know, things like that. They need a refresh, a rebrand, they up level. No, you're coming back. And she said, no. You got to understand, this is the last. No, Michelle, forget it, man, forget it. We're going to do this. Let's carry on, you know. And she said, no, this is the last photo shoot I'll ever do. And I said, but why? Because I said, doesn't make sense. You're going to come back. Okay, I'll fly down to Melbourne. I'll do that. And she said, no, Zarina, I have a brain tumor here, top of my head. And I was like, what are you talking about, Michelle? And I literally dropped my camera. And I just couldn't believe it. And I just couldn't believe it. And when she said that, I went, no, this doesn't make sense. And she said, you have to understand something, Zarina. This is the last photo shoot I'll ever do. And I said, I can't do. I just couldn't even put two words together. My camera nearly dropped. I literally fell to my knees, you know, because I was just so upset. And she said, you have to know something. I said, what? She said, I searched high and low in Australia to find somebody who could do what you do for me. I couldn't find anybody. You are the only one in Australia that can do this for me and can do what you do with the energy that you do it with and help people. And I've come to you because of that reason, but also because the time I've got left is not long, and I want my self and legacy to be captured in the best images that I know are possible. And for her and her friends and her family and her associates and things like that. And when she told me that, I was like, wow, that's another level of where we need to be in business, you know, like I just feel like it was just so special. She passed away 2 months after that photo shoot, you know, and I'll never forget it, you know. So it's really
thank you for sharing that story, because you know, that's a really special thing that you got to do for obviously an extremely talented and special lady. And like you said, like right at the beginning, what's really great about, you know, I mean, it's a really sad story, and it's you know, you talked about right at the beginning, building this legacy. You want to help people. People come to you because they want to build a legacy. That story was like that woman came to you so that you could allow her to create something and leave in this world something beautiful that represented who and what she was about. Yeah. So I think this is, you know, throughout today, you've been very authentic in sharing the way in which you do your photography. And as much as, it's I'm getting a set, it's less about, in fact, the picture, but it's the ability to be able to capture the essence of that person, bring out their true beauty, make them feel comfortable and confident, and capture a shot that really does portray them in the best possible light, and then sets them up to create a really attractive and magnetizing brand.
And just to top this off, which is crazy, like I was in Japan when her funeral was on, but there was a lot of people that are in the entrepreneurial world, and people, women in Melbourne and all, and people in business that knew her. And they went to a funeral, and I was getting messages after messages in Japan about people who were at the funeral, and all they could see were the images that I took of Michelle all there. And that was, and then before and just after that photo shoot, she got positions onto the boards of what she wanted to do for her legacy. And it was just like, wow. She used to be my angel. She used to put little messages in Facebook Messenger for me. And you know what I mean? She had my back. And it was like, you know what? The people that come to you as customers and clients, I really, they move me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's what we're business for.
Yeah, I think when you can get so emotional and attached to, we talk a lot about this, they become your family, right? It's like they become this extension of your family. You care deeply about who they are, what they do, and you want to be the person there that is the champion behind them. Come on, telling them they're doing a great job and that they look amazing. Because if that person can then feel amazing on the inside, it will allow, and they look amazing on the outside, then it magnifies their ability to be able to impact people all over the world. And that is what, I know we've got 5 minutes. I mean, we could go and talk for hours and hours. We've got like 5 minutes because there's going to be another show on this channel that will start soon. So, we're going to talk really quick, but you've got some stuff coming up. Like, I am super excited. So for those of you who are watching that are in Queensland, Australia, like you're probably wondering, how the heck do I, or in Australia for that matter, obviously Zarina does travel in this current climate. Travel is not an option, but she will be coming to Queensland. So I'm going to put inside of the comments here.
September, but I mean, if it needs to move to October, it's fine. But which I'm happy with. But the thing is that the September offer and all that, it's all available now. So I would just like tap into people now, and I want to tap into people now. I'll send you the link and the set up. It's really good.
So if you guys want, you're wondering how to get really good shots, I'm going to have Zarina as my guest up here in Queensland. She's going to be doing my photo shoot. We're going to see some new stuff, my stuff. If you want to do the same thing, if you want somebody to pull out the essence of who you are in a photo shoot, and you're available in Queensland, then I would recommend that I'll put a link in there and you can just jump on the waiting list and we'll let you know the date, because the date is going to be confirmed. We're just a little bit up in the air in terms of what's happening with the COVID lockdowns and what have you here in Australia at the moment. The other thing is, I'm going to put the link into the comment section as to where you can get a copy of Zarina's book. I think you'll already see that it's there. You can also connect with her on her website. So Zarina Photography, ZAHRINA photography.com. We'll make sure Karen's already put that into the comment section. And she's got something else very special coming up. As you guys know, I'm a massive advocate for video. Video is the number one way to get your message out there, to be seen and to really, stand out from the crowd when, no more vanilla looking images. You can get very creative and dynamic with using video. So I know she's got something special coming out very shortly. Tell us a little bit about that, Zarina.
Oh my gosh, this spins my wheels, people. This is spinning my wheels because for me, I'm really excited because I'm building a big tribe, and a tribe of people who are who really need to actually harness video. And so I've got a new product, and I just need some volunteers, and I need to talk to you. Whoever wants to be on video and wants to, I need to talk to some people about being a volunteer for a product that I'm bringing out. So just tap into zarinaphotography.com/contact and make an appointment to talk to me. I need volunteers. I need men and women who really need to give me feedback on my video product. It's a new product, and I would just love to have that feedback. That would be awesome. So I just need to have a chat with you. So that would be awesome. So that's all. That's all, my darling. Yeah, to make an appointment with me, chat with me about that volunteering would be awesome.
Wonderful. Fantastic. So head on over to zarinaphotography.com and make sure /contact. Make sure you get in touch with Zarina, and you can, you can put your hand up and volunteer and start doing some amazing stuff with her. Today has been fantastic. I've absolutely enjoyed having you as a guest, listening to the stories, hearing your wisdom, and I'm just, you and I have had some time to get to know each other over the last few months, and I look forward to continuing to work with you and seeing all the amazing stuff that you're doing. Thank you for doing what you do, because you enable, men and women all over, all over the country and all over the world to be confident in sharing their message through their brand stories.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining today. As always, you can find, like I said, you can find us inside of the Success Secrets for Business, Family and Life. I have a show on there twice a week. So because I'm based in Australia, it is on a Wednesday and a Friday, 10 a.m. So wherever that happens to be for you in the world, tune in, and you can also comment and have a conversation with us after the shows. Secondly, if you are, you're not somebody who likes to join something live, feel free to go and download the podcast. Go to iTunes or go to the Google Play Store, look up Unlocked with Tracy Wilson, and you'll be able to listen to these as a podcast. So thank you so much for joining. I will be back again on Friday. Have an amazing rest of the week, and, live your life unlocked, because as we know, there is just no other way. See you guys.
Thank you.